This story is for my friend Josiah. Josiah, Merry Christmas. I'll read you a quick story, okay? You ready? Beans on the Stove, Cornbread on the Table by Nadia L. Rogers. You eat yet, Josiah? No matter when I showed up at my parents' house, that was the first question my dad asked. My dad grew up poor and sometimes hungry. He always had a pot of beans ready to share with anyone who came to our house. When I was hungry or not, I sat down to eat with him. If I was lucky, there was also cornbread, warm yellow corn muffins that I covered in butter and honey. If you were hungry at our house, well, that was your own fault. It was only as an adult that I learned how important beans had been in the lives of Cherokees and other indigenous people for thousands of years. Beans are nutrient dense, provides a lot of fiber, may lower blood pressure, blood sugar and cholesterol, and pack loads of vitamins and minerals. And in the garden, rather than depleting the soil in which they grow, the bean plants share the nitrogen they produce. Good information. For me, beans are a comfort food, a food that is easily shared. Beans aren't fancy, but they are healthy. They taste good, they can feed a crowd. This year, I'm planting some small black Cherokee Trail of Tears beans in the garden. This bean is so named because Cherokee carries it with them when they were illegally forced to leave their ancestral homelands and walk more than 1,000 miles to Indiana Territory. Fortunately, like the Cherokee people themselves, the small jet black bean has been able to survive in this new environment so far. The Cherokees were forced to leave their gardens full of harvests they would never get to gather. But they arrived in the strange new land carrying the seeds that would feed their children and their children's children. My goal is to grow enough to share meals with friends and families. Sitting down at the table and eating with my father was a lesson without words. To feed others is to show that you care for their health and happiness. When we gather and eat together, we feed each other's bodies in more ways than one. When we share the foods and histories and cultures, we share something larger than ourselves. I never shared a pot of Trail of Tears beans with my father. He passed on in 2011. However, Cherokee tradition holds that our ancestors are always with us. When we grow the same foods they grew, cook the same meals they cooked, we honor their lives. When we sit down and thank them for what they have given us, they are at the table with us. We can agree with that, can't we? And you and I, Josiah, have eaten many things together, and I hope we continue to do that and share our culture and our history and our ancestry. This is the book I'm going to read when we go back to school. The Antiracist Kitchen. Lots of good recipes in there. We're going to cook some of that food, and we're going to eat it together, and we're going to continue to grow and learn. Merry Christmas, my friend. Enjoy your